Well, it was kind of expected. We knew it was going to happen sooner or later. In fact, we thought it was going to happen last year. It's just as well it waited until now, though, when it's a bit warmer. Morning world, and welcome to Sunday, 16th of April. Okay, little tiny bit of backstory, I won't keep you long on this. Our boiler packed in yesterday. So we called the plumber, who very nicely came out at 5 o'clock last night, went through it, and basically told us that the boiler we have, got to tip his hat to it because he's surprised it lasted as long as it did. When we built this place, we started it in 2005, hence the date on the stone there. We moved in 2006. We were, before we built that, living in a little wooden mobile home which lived on this concrete slab. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 15 by 6 meters, yards, whatever you call it. It was a little bungalow. And that's what we reared 4 kids in. But when we got planning to build that, it took us 10 years to get planning. And in those 10 years, the cost to build the house doubled. And unfortunately, our income hadn't. So a lot of the things we put in there were on a budget. Anyway, back to the beginning of the story, the boiler in the house. The plumber said, basically, when you bought this boiler, you bought a Vauxhall Astra, middle of the range Vauxhall Astra. And he said, and your Astra has lasted 16 years. He said, so it actually isn't that bad. And it's repairable. I could repair it, as in the plumber could repair the boiler. And I said, is it worth repairing a 16-year-old Astra? Or is it time to change it? And he said, that's entirely up to you. He said, I'm not going to try and sell you a new boiler. I can repair the old boiler and you can probably keep it for maybe 5, maybe even 10 years it could go on for. But with the granny flat added onto the house, the boiler we had, the pump and everything in it, wasn't quite man enough for the job. So yeah, we're gonna have to have a new boiler. So it was one of those things where last year when we built the granny flat and we realized that the boiler wasn't really quite up to the job, we were gonna have to replace it anyway. It's just that we weren't quite ready for it. So anyway, never mind. It's the same problem that everybody else has. Nothing lasts forever. And some things last, well, not at all. So 16 years service out of that boiler. I don't know what we paid for it. It probably wasn't a lot of money. It was, again, a lot of it was done on a budget. You know, I'm not complaining. Okay, so Sunday morning, a few jobs to do. I think the cows most of them spent the night outside. I know a couple of them stayed in the barn. So this should not need cleaning out. They, I think, need a bale. This side maybe need a bale. Bit of news on the skid steer bucket. Something's happening with that, but I won't tell you until I know for certain, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. You're okay. You've got plenty. Right, so there's nothing for me to do this side. Bedding in there is good. They got enough grub there. They're still outside, tickling the grass outside. That's okay in there. So really it's only a bale for the bull and the cattle on this side. So farm-wise, this is supposed to be a good week weather-wise coming up, which means the grass at the other farm should get away. We're going to shoot over and have a look in a minute. And if that is the case, the grass is going to get away, we're going to get and have a sort out with the cattle. All of my last year's heifers, the young heifers that I don't want going to the bull because they're just not big enough, plus I think 2 cows we're going to take over as well. So anything we don't want to go to the bull is going to go to the farm. and everything else that can go to the bull, we're going to let him out. He's going to be so happy. He's that horny, he don't know what to do with himself half the time. He just stands in there mooing and stuff. So, right, so bail for you guys. I'll go and get that first, and then we'll open the gate. And then quickly over to the farm, see if that liquid fertilizer did manage to get in before the rain washed it off. I know a lot of you saying it's a foliar fertilizer should go straight in, but it literally, as he was coming out of the field, it rained. Walked past it. Rained hard. So even a foliar one, I think, needs 10-15 minutes to get in. I don't think it had that. So fingers crossed on that. Save me having to type the message to dozens of you. It's not mine. That's famous Dave's little machine. All right, you lot, you know the drill, you know what you got to do. Come on, come on, you got to go in you go, go on. Go on, get your head round. In you go, go on. And you, Walker, go on. No, oh, you devil. Go on, get in there. Get in there, go on. On your nose and your toes. Back it up a bit. Go on. I'll be glad to have all the cattle outside. I can get and have a sort of these yards then. One bit of good news yesterday. Remember the Doosan track adjuster? Turned up in the post. You're a bit dusty, ain't you? Only on the outside though. Yeah, so if we can get all the young stock moved over to the farm next week, these guys can go out too. Breakfast is served. Out you come. So there are still 2 heifers in here. One there. And yeah, you. I don't think she's in calf, although I can't be certain because she's been running with a bull, well, forever. There's a bit of net in there. And has he caught her since? I mean, she wasn't in calf, but is she now? A lot of them were a bit fat when they got in here, and I wasn't sure if being a little bit overweight might have stopped them coming into estrus. So, of course, once they got on a diet of this, they were less fat, but I don't know. Thing is that there's always the option. She doesn't have a calf. You can always eat her. But for a Dexter cow, or heifer, she's got a, I'm not being sexist, all right? I'm just saying, she's actually got quite a nice ass on her. It would be nice if she could produce a calf. Nice flat back, nicely spaced pins. It's a good animal. I just wanted to get pregnant. Okay, we're just going to put that in there. I know where it is. I can't drop it in my pocket. Go on, in you go. Good girl, good girl. Okay, so off to the farm, look at some grass, go see my dad, make sure he's all right, and then on the way back, if I get time, I'm going to call in to see Rich Cornock, Funky Farmer, because some of you are aware that he and I have something planned, something cooked up. Now this was Richard's idea, although we talked about it for a while ago. The actual idea of what we're going to do was Richard's. So we're going to make a video. He's going to make a video. I doubt I'll record it. So we'll probably announce what we're going to do in the next week or so on the Funky Farmer's channel. Probably at his kitchen table, drinking his coffee. But I'm going to go over there and see him now and arrange a day to go over and make that video and put you all out of your misery, because there's so many of you guessing what we're up to, and some of you are close. But yeah, it's going to be a, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, okay. No massive difference in the grass in what we call the long ground, but not that it have any real effect. This is the one field we've got that everybody likes to let their bloody dog loose in. So it gets quite a lot of traffic out here, although the path is fairly clearly marked. If you can't see that. But out there, that's looking better. If it dries up, there's enough grub out here to keep the cattle. So we're only going to have a dozen or so, 15 maybe, over here. So it's not going to be terribly busy. So the footpath there has been busy too. Come on, Biscuit. So Biscuit's got to go and mark where everybody else's dog has already done. Come on. Come on. Okay, right, so next thing is mowing grass. I think Reg has put nitrogen out here too. That's not from my tractor. That's fresh. Okay. He's fertilised everything. That out there will be my mowing grass. That's the one I'm most concerned about for a minute. Just need some warm sunshine, just a couple of days warm sunshine, and that should get away. Fingers crossed. Okay, right, well he's been out there as well, I can see his tracks, so I can see enough from here. Right, let's head back. Quick check on the bees first. That doesn't look good. I would have thought I'd see at least a couple by now. A lot of staining coming out of there, so I'm wondering if we've had a couple of really heavy storms, and if the weather was pointing in the wrong direction, did that get flooded? We'll come back when it's a bit warmer and have another look. Poor Sam. When Richard Cornock and I get together and sit at his table and Sam joins us, I don't know what it is, we kind of egg each other on, and she sits there and rolls her eyes at us and tuts at us because we just misbehave. We just, and I think she encourages it a little bit though, because she always smiles at the end of it, but it's like, yeah, poor old Sam. So anyway, I've been and watched Richard's heifers being let out, so that's a video that you'll be seeing before or after this one, I don't know. So he's let his heifers out with the boys. We had a cup of coffee. I'm going back over later on after I've taken Mrs. P to the train station. Been invited to supper, and we're gonna shoot a video then. I've got a funny feeling there's a guest star in this video as well. And then we're gonna shoot a video. Richard's gonna shoot it. So to tell you what he and I are planning to do later this year. So it involves going out of the county, shall we say. Might even involve wheels up a little bit. So yeah, so that's going to be on a video for Rich Cornock. I'm not going to video that at all, because like I said earlier, it's something we've been talking about for a year or two now. And then Rich rang me a couple of months ago and said, do you fancy doing so and so and so and so? And I said, yes, I jolly well do. So he got permission from Mrs. C, and I kind of got permission from Mrs. P. A pass. So yeah, we've already started organising it. I say we, Richard's already started organising it. We will tell you all about it tonight, but it will be in a video that you'll have to watch from Funky Farmer. I'm not going to video it at all. Yeah, and then once he's announced it, then I will afterwards. I will, for anybody who misses it on Funky Farmers, I will then tell you afterwards what we're planning to do and when we're planning to do it, etc., etc. So I'm not trying to bait you. I am teasing you for sure, but again, this is Richard's idea, so I think it's up to him to tell you, and all I'm doing is preempting everybody that if you want to find out, you're going to have to go and watch Funky Farmer. That's all it is. So yeah. So all they got to decide now is it ham or chicken for supper. That was it. So they've got ham, but Richard didn't want ham, he wanted chicken, but they haven't got a chicken. So that means Mrs. C's got to go and buy a chicken, but she hasn't got time to buy a chicken, so we might be having ham. Or maybe chicken if she has time, but I don't know. So, like I said, I don't mind. I wasn't expecting to get fed as well, so happy days for me. Right, back home, it is 11:30, or just come to 11:30. I'm going to spend an hour or two with Mrs. P. I was going to go and do the track adjuster on the digger, but I've been a bit longer out this morning than I intended, so that might not get done today, especially as I'm going out for supper tonight and I better not get covered in grease and muck and stuff. So maybe the track adjuster will be done tomorrow. We'll see how time and everything else goes. I might get back and Mrs. P says, oh well, I'm not doing anything for an hour, you can go and fix that, and I might just do it before lunch. Who knows? I'm just going to play the cards I'm dealt, and go with the flow.